finish yet.
Dzień dobry Państwu, witam serdecznie. Myślę, że możemy już zacząć. Po raz kolejny spotykamy się na trzeciej Międzynarodowej Konferencji Bezpieczeństwo Dzieci i Młodzieży w Internecie, która jest organizowana przez Polskie Centrum Programu Safer Internet, które tworzą Fundacja Dzieci Niczyje oraz Naukowa i Akademicka Sieć Komputerowa. Współorganizatorem tej konferencji jest niemiecki projekt partnerski ClickSafe, który już drugi rok z rzędu był zaangażowany w przygotowanie tego przedsięwzięcia. Partnerem głównym konferencji jest Fundacja Orange. Miło mi także Państwu przekazać, że tegoroczna konferencja została
Happy to say that the year's conference enjoys the patronage of the Minister of Internal Affairs and Administration, Mr. Grzegorz Schetyna, the Minister of Education, Barbara Kudrycka, the Minister of Justice, Andrzej Czuma, the Minister of Labor and Social Affairs, Jolanta Fedak, the Minister of National Education, Katarzyna Hall, Minister Elżbieta Radziszewska, the Government Plenipotentiary on Equal Opportunities, the Children's Ombudsman, the Inspector of Personal Data Security, the Secretary General of the Polish Committee for UNESCO, Mr. Sławomir Ratajski, the Commander-in-Chief of the Polish Police Force, Andrzej Mateusz, and the Office of Electronic Communication. I would like to thank all our patrons for their support, and we'd like to welcome all the institutions represented here today. I think that the involvement of so many entities and so many actors shows that this subject is very interdisciplinary, that it touches upon a wealth of areas and discipline, and such an intersectoral approach is necessary because if we are to be effective to protect children and young persons using the internet and new media, we need to establish a broad platform of cooperation. And I think that our approach is right, as shown by the presence of so many of you and the sectors you represent. We have here today a large group of teachers and educators. We have representatives of the law enforcement agencies and the judiciary, the internet service providers, the internet industry, NGOs working with children and young people. I've already mentioned that this year's conference is organized in partnership in conjunction with our friends from Germany with the ClickSafe project, and this international cooperation between us is very highly significant since the internet is, as we all know, a global web, a world wide web. It knows no borders, and all the risks and the threats in that virtual world can affect everyone, and if we are effectively to halt them, we need to cooperate with. We have participants from 26 countries who will be sharing with us their best practice as well as see perhaps what we've been able to achieve in the area of internet security here in Poland. As for the topics we'd like to discuss during this conference, on the first day, we will be hearing a number of presentations on the state-of-the-art knowledge of internet dangers such as child abuse online, cyberbullying, loss of privacy, identity theft, and we also be speaking about the legal reform in the European Union and in Poland, which will enable penalization or prosecuting of new types of internet offenses. There's also the issue of blocking pornography or images of child abuse at operator level, which has been introduced in the UK and the Scandinavian countries. It's perhaps slightly controversial, but it enjoys support in Poland. Our surveys show that over 3/4 of Polish internet users believe that internet providers should provide mandatory bans on child pornography, on child abuse images, and the majority believes that every net user who stumbles across such content should inform the relevant authorities, which will allow the perpetrators, the offenders, to be brought to justice, and it also will allow us to identify and support the victims of child abuse, of such types of abuse. This proposal to help child victims of internet crime will be the topic of a parallel breakaway session. Tomorrow at the plenary session, we will be talking about the media competence, the media literacy, media education, and we will be able to how the media can be used to provide education, where education is not just reading, writing, and arithmetics, but largely involves the use of new technology to support the learning process. Today and tomorrow at the parallel sessions, we will be presenting educational programs run by Polish and foreign organizations and NGOs, and we must realize that these tools with which we're trying to educate children and young people also in the age of media convergence must be changed, must be adapted to meet the new requirements. And the education of young people in such difficult topics as internet safety is a particular challenge because it's often difficult to keep up with the developments in this area. And it's also a great, it can be difficult to work with children who are born with a mouse in their hands, who are the digital generation and who are well-suited, who are very competent and literate. This conference is hopes, or we the organizers hopes that you will pass on the knowledge, and we get feedback after every year's conference. So just to mention the Safe Internet Day, when you have the opportunity to propose your ideas on working on a regional scale, local scale. This year we've received 950 ideas for such local initiatives on how to improve internet safety, which is a source of pride and joy because it helps us stand out. Poland stands out in Europe in terms of activity. And we also want this to be an opportunity for you to network, to set up local coalitions, perhaps involving a number of entities where you can achieve more together. And a few housekeeping remarks. After the plenary sessions, there will be a 90-minute lunch break, after which you will be able to take part in parallel sessions. You have one of 3 topics to choose from. And one thing, in your conference materials, you have an evaluation form, and we'd appreciate it if you filled it in and gave us feedback on how you liked this event, on the extent to which this event lived up to your expectations. We do read all evaluation forms and take them into account when drafting the agenda for our successive conferences, and it's a great honor for me to be opening this conference, and I'd like to wish you a fruitful session, and I hope that the presentations and the sessions will indeed prove inspiring. Thank you very much, and now I'd like to ask our co-organizer, Ewa Niewiadomska-Szynkiewicz, the Educational Director at NASK, and then Mr. Peter Behrens, the KidsSafe Program Coordinator, the Conference Vice Chair, and Jadwiga Czartoryska, the Chairperson of the Orange Foundation in Poland.